Good morning from AERO 2023. Now I am here basically alone. AERO still has to open the gates. First of all, I want to say hello to everyone and to apologize for my basic English, but really I would like to speak my language, but it is clear that I can't, so I will do just my best. I want to show better the planes because during the day is simply impossible. The crowd of people is really crazy. This is the Norden with the 916. You can see the, let me call, a strange exhaust system. This is probably due more to the regulation for the noise here in Europe. Here we have installed the TK1 Racing shock absorbers. They work really good. Goldfriend brake system from Czech Republic. We tell you they are really good brakes. In the back of this plane in particular is the prototype that was shown for the first time with another paint scheme, and then rebuilt to be as light as possible to meet the European rules. We will speak later about the European rules because they are really strict about the empty weight. This is Acme rear shock absorber, another very nice shock absorber, and we are so happy to work with these American companies because they are really the top at the moment in this area. This Norden is weighing around 385 kilo with the 916. The 916 unfortunately is about 4 or 5 kilo heavier than the 915. This plane can be lighter. Of course, there are some options. There are the Bushwheel 26. There is a constant speed propeller from a prop. There are larger water radiators, larger oil radiator, and this plane was tested days ago, let's say a couple of weeks ago, and is really flying very nice with this engine. We feel the power, we feel the climb, we feel the strong takeoff, we feel the increase of speed. Now when we speak in terms of power and speed and performance, you need to really imagine a plane that can fly over 200 km/h cruise speed. This is far from the top speed that we reached. This is really far from the top speed that we reached. But let's say that above 200 km/h cruise speed is not anymore something that is unreachable for a bush plane. We are very proud about this because, you know, it doesn't happen every day to find a bush plane that can fly with the Bushwheel 26-inch installed, baby Bushwheel in the back, at over 200 or 125 miles per hour. We want to just to remind you that the concept of this plane was to build a plane that is a bush plane, fast enough, thanks to the airfoil that we are using, but also that can be slow enough when when the pilot need. So the trick was to create a metamorphosis in the wing, creating a big camber, opening flaps and slats at the same time, but cleaning the wing when I really need that the wing become a fast airfoil. The wing tips are designed in this way to pressurize the ailerons at a low speed and higher angle of attack. Also, the ailerons are curved. They are freeze. The plane is very agile. This is something else that is not common in the bush planes. You cannot find easily in the bush planes in the market. We wanted this. We strongly wanted this because the plane needed to be fun and precise in the commands inputs, and also not heavy from the point of view of the effort that the pilot need to control, for example, ailerons. Something that, many pilots around the world already know, having flown for, I would say, decades, sorry, I don't know in English, plenty of years, other planes that are quite heavy in the ailerons control. The input that you put on ailerons immediately transfer in a rotation of the plane. The 60 degrees is so fast that is below 2 seconds. And pilots that are normally known as aerobatic pilots consider this plane a semi-aerobatic plane. So what we really wanted was to have a plane that has plenty of room. The plane is over 7 meter long. Plenty of room also when you sit inside the seating. Yesterday there was here a customer that was 2 meter and 5 centimeter tall, and he was so smiling and so happy because there was no conflict with the top of the fuselage and his head, and it was something really that he was not expecting. You can stretch your legs during the flight completely without to touch the firewall. Something that again was not possible with the previous Savage, but now is possible with the Norden. Now let's talk a minute about some news that we introduced with the new plane. The new plane, I mean the one we are showing here at AERO. This one has a porter landing gear. Is a landing gear that I strongly wanted to design because we had plenty of experience made with the Shock Hub and Shock Ultra. The shock absorbers again comes from a very nice company, TK1 Racing. The name is Monster shock absorber. We reinforced completely the fuselage. It was a long job, let me say, because we made so many drop tests and we wanted catastrophic tests. I wanted to arrive to a point that you can really stall the plane by over 1.5 meters and at 800 kilo without to destroy the fuselage, without to destroy the plane, and keeping, of course, passenger and pilots as safe as possible. With this landing gear, this is possible. We tested by over 1.5 meters at 800 kilo. Catastrophic drop test. Normally, when you stall the plane, you still have some lift. So what we did was really the worst condition possible. Just to remember you that some rules around Europe, but also in USA, about LSA, etc., don't require a drop test so catastrophic like we did. When you arrive at 0.5 meter above the ground, you are already above the rules for certified planes in this category. So we multiplied for 3 this factor, and the energy is not just 3 times more, So we are super happy because this landing gear allows the Norden pilot to fly very fast, very far, and land very hard, if necessary. The setup that we have given to the plane, and also, let me say, the study that we made with TK1 Racing, that we strongly recommend you because it's very good company. The study was focused on the fact that we didn't want any crosswind problem on the ground or during taxi. So you can really believe us, the plane is not suffering by any raise of one wing, for example, in case of wind from this side, and is very stable, but in the meantime is very soft and efficient during taxi and, of course, during landing. We introduced also the new wig-wag system, wingtip system. We cannot integrate this one yet because we need first to create a rear landing, rear light for the radar. In that case, we will be able to integrate inside the strobes. They are very potent, very strong. The name is Hercules. They are made from AERO, Czech Republic. They are also expensive. Nothing compared to some prices that are around, for example, let me say, even if I don't like, between our competitors, cheap, I would say, compared to other competitors, but absolutely top level from the point of view of the performance. Now there are only 4 LEDs working. I cannot open the full LED, all the LED at the same time, because really are annoying and you cannot see with your eyes, because they are really annoying and disturbing. This system is available and can be also retrofitted in the existing Norden. We worked also in the rear, increasing the strength of this area. In this case, to increase the strength when you apply a lateral force to the tail. This is the T3 system, another very nice system. We are happy. We know something about some reports, but we need to tell you we never had any issue with this system. We are really happy about it. Let me show something inside. Again, I apologize. I do my best. This is not my language. You will understand for sure. Now, something about the sleeping bag. What is this? I am 1.80 meters, about. I have zero issue to stay here and sleep. The wall space is 2 meters, and of course, if you are able to sleep in one sleeping bag in your tent, you are able to sleep here also, because it's precisely has the same dimension of this larger sleeping bag we found in the market. This is the XL, is for 2.20 meters tall people. We made a special mattress that you can see is foldable and wrappable, I would say, for an easy transport. There is the pillow. There is no conflict with this stick, but the stick is also removable, so no problems eventually to remove the stick and feel even more comfortable. Of course, this is not intended as something that will substitute your bed, but the concept is to give to this plane a long cruise speed, a long range, with a large cruise speed. We discussed before about this. And imagine to fly very far and to be also tired. You know, you have a bush plane, you can land, you can really just jump in the back, take a rest, and then start again your trip. This is something that fit very well with our name for this plane, Norden. Norden means something that you can reach in your north, and it's something that probably you are dreaming since you were a child. And you know, it's something that really pushed me to design this, thinking 2 trips. The bush plane in general, especially in the USA, is a plane that is considered, let me say, nice enough when you can fly at least at 100 miles per hour with the bush wheels. 105 is already good, and not for everyone with the bush wheels. Of course, there are planes, very nice planes, that can fly also even 110, why not? But then this is uncomfortable from the reason of the consumption and so on. So with this kind of engine, in this case, we will speak later about the engine, but in this case we had the 915 and the 916 already tested in our Norden. You can really also save fuel, have a nice cruise speed at the same time. And imagine that I show you here, this is a structural fuel tank. In this case, this is 70 liters, and we have two of them, so this is 140 liters. But you need to know that we can arrive at 180 liters. Now, to put this in perspective, imagine this plane, this one with the 916. This one we tested economic cruise a few days ago, and it was flying at 100 miles per hour with this 26-inch tires, and the consumption was 15 liters per hour, economic cruise. Now imagine to have 180 fuel tank, 180 liters fuel tank. You can have more than 10 hours of flying at an average consumption of 15 liters per hour and 100 miles per hour cruise speed. But this is the economic cruise speed of this plane. Okay, when you fly fast, let me say 100 knots should be something that satisfies most of you with the bush wheels. Of course, the plane can be much faster, but let's say 100 knots. That again is quite atypical in this category. You can be at about, let me say, 22 liters per hour. That is absolutely not too bad. Garmin setup. This is the 7-inch. The pod, let me call instrument pod or panel, can be completely dismountable. In the back there are autocall electric fittings that are just screwed. You unscrew and you can remove the panel. We now introduced the new fuel indicator, and there is the floating ball inside, because we decided that this battery is more reliable, even because we have very large fuel tank, and this is really the best system we can offer. This is the parking brake, reachable easily by the customer. The two pedals, you can really extend your feet and arrive near the two oil brake tanks there, even if you are very tall. Our seatings, of course, can be moved forward or backward. This is the shooter window that you can open in flight. I want to anticipate you that we are starting finally to make also new interiors. This plane is minimalistic, you know. The concept of this plane is to be light. Don't forget that we are European, and in Europe the rules about the empty weight are so strict. You Americans, sorry, are not used to these rules. Imagine that a plane like this should be able to weigh 360 here in Germany empty. Of course with oil and water in the engine, but empty. Then you need to add the parachute that is mandatory, and it is 16 kilograms, the radio that is mandatory. And only after that you show this, you can think to homologate and certify a plane here in Europe. Some countries are even more strict than this. France, for example. So it's not easy. So this is why also we aimed to be as much as possible minimalistic because of these rules. I forgot to tell you that the rear seat will have a foldable support. So basically, if you want to go somewhere to camp, you can have the rear seat also here. And this support that is foldable will allow you to put in the grass the rear seat and use as a chair. Not bad for, how I would say, some basic camping. What I imagine is the 2-3 days weekend around. This is something that I really would like that our customers sooner or later will experience. Now, last is about the engine that we have here. We modified the cooling. I apologize because I have shown some pictures. The engine was not installed at 100% yet because we received the Edge Performance engine just a few days ago. And as all my colleagues or competitors know, when this happens, this means that you work day and night to try to finish in time. But of course, we didn't work yet on the position and on the wrapping of the intercooler to give the best performance to the engine. This engine is interesting because it's not a 916, it's what is called a 917 by Edge Performance. 970 TJ, sorry. They tested up to 200 kilo, but in reality the setup that we have on this engine is 180. Now, you know, it's interesting also because they don't open the engine. The engine is untouched. It's a 915 modified. And since we know how nicely the plane performed already with the 915 and how nice it performed now with the 916, we can't wait to test the plane with the 180 horsepower. This will finally give us the same level of power that some nice planes in the market are offering by so many years. But we will be light, powerful and light. Don't forget that this kind of engines can offer you the power up to 5,000 meters. Full power. What does mean this for a mountain pilot? You know, is something that only a mountain pilot can understand, and I am sure they will smile only listening to these numbers. Now, I expect personally to test this plane in the next couple of weeks. Edge Performance will visit us directly in Zlin, Czech Republic, to make the test and the final test of the engine with us, because it's very important to have his support, and we really can't wait. But not from a commercial point of view, from people with huge passion, you know, point of view, because we are those people. We create these planes and we create this kind of stuffs because we have huge passion. Without the passion, you can't do this. Probably you can do this if you have the money to build something like this, but without the passion, forget, you will never do this. And sorry, we are not Americans. We know very well this. We know where the bush pilots were born. We know where bush flying create the tradition, you know, and all the stuffs about this kind of planes. We are just a European, sorry for that, but we know everything about the bush planes. We know everything about the bush planes market. This is why we create this kind of planes. Last, before to say hello you, let me extract the slats and the flaps. Now, I want to show you what happens here and what I call metamorphosis. This wing, less than 20 seconds ago, was a fast wing. Now is completely different. This is something you cannot see in the market because it doesn't exist. I was dreaming about this wing by so many years, you cannot imagine, because I have a huge experience with the fixed slats. We know what slats create, we know what slats offer to the safety and to the pilot himself. We wanted to build something that is clean when must be clean and fast, and dirty when need to be dirty. The double slotted flaps also are crazy efficient. The combination of these flaps and these slats create the magic and transform what a simple 9-meter wingspan wing with a fast airfoil can offer to the customer, transform this in, let me call, a stall plane. How much stall can be this plane? This is something interesting. It's not easy to answer. You need to be trained to use this kind of stuffs and this kind of aerodynamic. We have also dealers that tested the plane and they need time before to be really efficient and transfer to the potential customer the right feeling. We have that kind of pilot. We have one pilot that is fantastic and is absolutely the best one we know in this sector. Our pilot is capable to transfer to our customers what this plane is capable of. And this means that if you are capable and trained, it's like when you buy a sport car. You buy a sport car, but you are not probably a sport driver. You are just a good driver. You need to train yourself. Buy a Porsche or buy a Ferrari and go on the boulevard, or buy a Porsche and Ferrari and go in the racetrack. It's a different story. This plane offers you the possibility to learn more about bush flying and stall. Why? Because if you understand how it works together, flap and slat, or how it works only the flap or only the slat, probably you will need 20, 30 hours. Then you will discover a new magic, a new world. For example, many are asking why you don't interconnect the flaps with the slats. The answer is very simple, because there are some maneuvers, for example, tight turns or small radius turns. In this case, you don't need the flaps, you need the slats. Imagine a fighter plane and see on YouTube how they perform during this kind of maneuvers, and you will immediately understand why we use them disconnected between them. Last I would say is about the look. The look is important. I am Italian, I like design, and for me everything is important and is related. So if I create a curve there, and I create a curve here, and I create a curve in the window, in the rear window, is not casual. Is a choice from the point of view of the design. This is something that I do mainly for myself. Everything normally I produce is for myself. First customer of myself is me. I need to like it. So what I want to tell you is that basically this product now, after 3 huge long years of development, tests, stress, huge hard work, is really mature. Of course, there will be still some good improvements coming from propellers. They are designing for us a new propeller that is constant speed for this kind of power, and it will be available in July. Can you imagine 180 horsepower, very light, super light, constant speed propeller that will perform crazy about takeoff and consumption and cruise speed? This is really something that is happening. Last is about my customers. I need to apologize with many of them because we are late. We are late in the delivery. Since we are professionals in this sector and we work very hard, we know very well also the situation of our competitors or simply our colleagues, and we can tell you that most of them, if not all of them, have same problems about delivery. It's not easy. The chain of suppliers after COVID has not broken, of course, but had huge problems to manage everything in time, to manage the company itself in these last 3 years was not easy. Not easy, especially for a company like our one that was developing something new. But now, I tell you, we are not changing even one rivet anymore. The wing itself, you know, is designed for 800 kilo, is super strong, and we never changed nothing from the first day. But also about the plane itself. So, this is the presentation I wanted to do. It's not an official presentation because I will not publish anywhere else. It is just dedicated for this restricted number of people. I know that between them there are also nice names from let's call the aviation community or even some competitors. I say hello also them, of course. And this is simply our Norden, our product, our last effort. And I hope that with this presentation now you know a little better what we did until today. Take care and have a nice day, and best wishes from AERO Friedrichshafen 2023. Bye bye.